raised in Pasadena, California, home of the dogs. Oh man, let's see. Kindergarten I went to Jefferson. First grade I went to Noyes in Altadena. Second grade I went to Webster. Third grade I went to Lutheran. Fourth grade I went to Longfellow. Longfellow was fourth grade through the sixth grade. Elliott, and then HS. Oh, Pasadena, growing up then is just a lovely time. It's a time that, that stays with me. I was very blessed to have two working parents, and well, really four, because my parents both remarried, but I still, we're still a strong family, so it was just a beautiful time. You couldn't beat it. Anything from when we were little, we'll say from 6 years old, you competing in the neighborhood, running around, getting them up with everybody from football to basketball to baseball. Whatever is in season, we were doing. We were not in the house at all. Competing block to block, neighborhood to neighborhood, and then when it got competitive in Pop Warner, you had to go to play Victory Park, because then there was only one Pop Warner. And that was Pasadena Bull Pups. I think at one point some of them were Vikings or something like that, but it was always Pasadena, Bull Pups. Ooh. The first time I got in, I wanted to, when I realized that's what I wanted to do, I was on a recruiting trip to USC. And when I got there, they were shooting a promotional video for the football team. And that's when everything was still done on film. And I just thought it was real cool. Everybody looked real cool doing it. And I didn't know much about it. I'm like, man, that might be something I want to do. So after I got hurt and couldn't play anymore, and those scholarships, none of that worked out for me. Got in a little trouble, but I always knew I wanted to get into TV and filmmaking. So I started, got my first job in TV in Oklahoma City, of all places, in 1988. I've been very blessed to win a lot of awards. I've won several Emmys. I've won, Hollywood Black Film Festival, several film festivals for some of our projects. So I've been very blessed in that regard, and winning awards and stuff like that. Well, once I got out of television, working in television news, that's how I got my start. Moved back to California and wanted to go out on my own and be more of an independent producer. I helped develop College Hill, which was a big hit for BET. It was the first show of its kind ever done. From there, executive produced the DMX show, the Lil' Kim show, shows for TV One. I've done shows for Lifetime, reality shows, and mainly in the reality genre. Just because of my background coming from television news, that's what reality TV is. So I've had a very, very cool career and very blessed to do that. But I took a turn because I could no longer be part of some of the BS in that genre that you run into. And that was one of the things that's probably why College Hill is off the air today. Because so many of us, it was a good show. It could have been a lot better, but we didn't give it any balance. And I could just no longer be a part of that type of stuff. So we do other stuff now. We do sports programming, and we have 2 films that we're working on now. You got to understand, growing up in Pasadena, your cousins, your brothers, whomever, we went to HS or Muir. Some people went to Blair, but in my household, it was always HS and Muir. So my first experience with the tussle was watching my cousin Kenny Jones, who played for Muir. And he was a DB. The tussle was big. Our household was Pasadena PHS, but their household was Muir. And so then growing up and going to junior high school at Elliott, we always wanted to be Bulldogs. And I don't know if that was playing in Victory Park, being Bull Pups and being right there on the property and seeing, those guys were, larger than life for us that played at HS. So at Elliott, it was a trip versus, we all played Pop Warner when we were little, but at Elliott, we were all homeboys. And if we couldn't all play on the same team, we played flag football at Elliott. So you had some of the better athletes opting out of Pop Warner football, playing midget and junior midget, to play together flag football at Elliott. But that's how we got down. But we knew from there we were going to PHS, you know. And so, you know, when we try to explain to young people now, that camaraderie of playing with your homies and being a family, you cannot beat. And I think that's one of the better things that football brings and teaches. Excuse me. In sports, there's nothing bigger than the high school football rivalry. I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you played or not. Everyone remembers their high school football rivalry because usually that is your homecoming. It's bragging rights of the town, and I'm a huge fan of high school football. So I had the opportunity to film HS and Muir preparing for the turkey tussle. And the drama, the emotion, you cannot beat that. And you got to understand, for me growing up in Pasadena, you know, those are my fondest memories. Even playing in college, there was nothing beat playing in a turkey tussle. So I wanted to document that. My close best friend, my brother, Kev Mills, was coaching at the time. Ken Howard is my cousin. They were coaching against one another. You know, Kel's father, Mike Harrison, who was teaching at Muir and coaching at PHS, you couldn't write that script. So we were very fortunate in the first time doing that, and we were the first company to do a show of that magnitude. That gained national recognition and was bought by Fox Sports. To get the Crosstown Rivals up and going, that was still the highest rated reality show for Fox Sports that they've ever had. We have a documentary we just finished that's in Sundance, and so we're still grinding. You know, we're still looking to make that feature. So we're still grinding. We're still trying to, it's the duck feet underwater. We're still paddling, trying to keep it going. Whew. Trying to get our community tighter, our black community tighter in Pasadena, is going to start with, people like to talk about the millennials. And I think I'm a little older than the millennials, those 40-something-year-olds. It's gonna start there. We're in a position right now to reach out and have to physically touch our younger people. And until we do that, everything else we're doing is lip service. When I look at the athletes in Pasadena over the years, throughout the country, some of the better athletes come from Southern California and from this area. So when you look at the state of John Muir High School and Pasadena High School and where we are now, I think our records this year, no one's going to the playoffs, which is absurd for those two schools. But again, it's going to start with us, because I know Pasadena High School, who the programs are falling off so badly. You have a coach who doesn't understand the tradition, the true tradition of Pasadena High School. So if you have that component, then you have the component of no program and no money to back him. It's a lost cause. Same with John Muir. I think they were on the right track with John Hardy last year, personally. I don't know this newer coach. I'm sure, Muir, they try to do what they do over there, but the drama behind that screwed them up this year, I believe. So when you look at that, we have so many professional athletes, so much money that's come out of both those high schools. It's gonna take an influx of money to build those programs back up. And once you have that, because you gotta understand, I lived in Oklahoma City, where high school football is huge. Those programs have money. The coaches are paid a salary, so they can afford to coach the kids year round. Here in this area, you don't have that. And people like to say, well, it's the kids, it's the coaches. We are dealing with a different, young people are different today. So what? Young people still want to achieve, they want to please, and they want to follow a leader. And if your coach is not that, if your coaching staff is not that, these kids will not follow. You're dealing with a lot I also coached high school football in Oklahoma, and it's just a different mindset. You know, the programs do get behind you. There, everyone's got an opinion. Everyone thinks they can coach better than the head coach. That's the fun of high school football. You can be in earshot of hearing people yell stuff to you, and you're running the wrong damn play. That's part of the fun of it. But in all seriousness, these kids are being done a disservice. Public schooling in Pasadena is really suffering right now. And that's going to start with politics and politicians and the mayors and so forth. So there's no quick fix to that. I know personally for me, Pasadena, we keep harping on the tradition. The kids that are there now don't understand tradition right now. You know, hell, their parents don't know the last time HS has won the turkey tussle. So they're looking to, you have to build on the tradition and empower them to understand they need to start their own tradition. And it's not gonna be a quick fix, but you got to get the right people in place to do that, and parents have to get involved. The city has to get involved. It's not enough to have complaints about what the coach is doing and not doing, and my kid, and stand back, let these coaches coach. If you can't help with your money, help with your time, but you have to present a program, and it's a different time right now.